You are sitting in my brand new garden that I'm putting in right now. Welcome to my homestead that we're building from scratch and living debt-free. And I'll show you how as I learn how. We'll talk about that and a lot more as time goes on. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, and thanks for hanging out with me. Welcome to the homestead. Let's get going. Alright guys, in the first edition of our homestead, we're going to be talking about putting in a new garden. This was all grass. This is actually going to grow. It's going to be a lot bigger, but this is where I'm at now. And it's a long process doing it, I guess the hard way, where I have a small tiller, just a small tiller, and I just run a pass and then I rake it, and then I run another pass and then I rake it, and then I run another pass and then I rake it until I get all the grass out of here, and then we'll do a good till and then it'll be ready to plant. Right now it's still too cold to put anything in, and it is like May 11th or something like that, May 12th. And it's still too cold here to get anything in the ground. It's still below temp at night, and would hurt the plant. So it probably won't be until next week before I can get this planted mid-May. So we're getting this prepped and getting this ready. This in total is about somewhere in between a quarter to a half of an acre. Something like that. And this is my side yard. The homestead stretches out back across them woods and goes around those woods and goes around those woods. And this is what we're doing today, is we are raking what we tilled on the first pass, and we're raking what we tilled on the first pass. I just heard a woodpecker.
Squirrel!
I just heard a woodpecker back there. We're raking what we did on the first pass, and then we'll make our second pass, do another rake. We'll do that as much as we can and get as much of this sod out of here as we can. And as you can see, it's just going into a pile up here along the edge of the garden, where I will load it into the cart, wheelbarrow, whatever you want to call it, and it will go into a compost pile. So this is the garden. We're getting started on the garden. So that's topic number one. That's my goal for this week, is to have this done by this weekend. Pretty much by hand, just going over it with that little tiller and then raking it with that rake, and a little at a time until I get it done. Let's get back to work on this garden here. Of course, I have to do things the hard way. I always do, because I'm cheap, and I don't want to put as much money into this as I have to. So I tend to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in everything I do. So I'm going to get back to work. Welcome to the channel. We'll talk a little bit later in another video. I just wanted to give you a good welcome, and I'm going to get back to work. What I'm doing right now is I've made a pass. This is all grass. This was all grass, and I made a pass with the tiller, and now I let it sit for a couple days so it would die, so the grass would brown up. The grass is browned up where I tilled, and now I'm raking it back into a pile, and that pile will go into the compost pile, and that compost pile will eventually go back into this garden. But I'll make a pass with the tiller, and then I'll rake up the grass, and then I'll make another pass with the tiller, and I'll rake up the grass. And as I'm raking it, I kind of scoop it and flip it, scoop it and flip it, and I'm shaking the dirt off of the grass as I'm raking it. I don't want to lose that topsoil, that dirt. So I'm raking it back, but I'm trying to keep as much dirt in the garden as possible. And so I'm getting a hold of that grass, and you'll see me flinging it with the rake. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to fling that dirt out of the grass, so that I'm raking mostly grass. You can't help but get a little bit of dirt, but I'm raking mostly grass. And this is a lot of work. This is a hard way. This is a hard way. I'm going to do this section today. I'll probably do that section tomorrow. I'll make my way down to the end of the garden by the end of the week. We should be good to go. We won't have our full half acre yet. That'll go as we progress. But this particular garden right here, I want to start planting next week. So right now it's still a little too cold at night. So I think next week, will be when we start planting. So I better get back to work. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing if you choose to do so. Click the little bell icon. Thumbs up the video. Let's get it in front of more people. Let's grow this channel, and so other people can see that they can do this too, and they can buy an old farmstead and live without debt, and they can grow their own food and live for pennies on the dollar, just growing their own food with a little bit of hard work. That they could put up fence and grow their own and do their own livestock, that they can raise their own chickens. Let's get it out there. And as I build this homestead, because I'm just now building it, as I build this homestead, we'll build it together. Let's build this together. Just be nice in the comments, please. If you're not nice, I will delete you, and I won't put up any nonsense on my channel, okay? And let's keep it family friendly. And that said, I guess I better get back to work. And we'll have a chat later, okay? We'll see you later. I just realized this is going to get really boring really quick. Wait, I need a catchphrase. We need a catchphrase. Let's come up with a catchphrase. What catchphrase should I use? I need a catchphrase to say goodbye. Oh, I got it. I'll see you on the flip side.